You may start, my lord.
Okay, but before we begin, that song, how does it go from Prince of Egypt? You're messing with the big boys now?
Yeah, we're missing the big boys now. Through the night of wonders,
And then it counts
you
up all the
suddenly
gods.
restore us. Endurance
You're
power.
here
You put up a
before.
fight. You put up a show. You put up a fight. You could be our acolyte. But first you have to bow.
It
Bow
is time to
down.
bow.
Or something like that.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to know?
No reason. Let's get started. Alrighty then. Hey everyone, this is Jessival Sevens, and joining me today would be Urban Hatter,
Hi.
Uninvited Monster,
Hello.
and Burning Ice Wolf, who is currently unavailable because he's doing stuff. Let's just not worry about that. Anyways, so where we last left off, which file was it again? It was this one. Basically, where we last left off, I needed to travel all the way to a peak and talk to some Shinto gods. Or literally just
What's a
legion.
Shinto?
Basically, Japanese pantheon, or one of them.
Oh, okay.
I believe that some of them were like Shinto deities and like other things. They have a lot of names, but honestly, they're just as confusing as the Chinese pantheon and the Greeks and Norse. Okay, all the pantheons are confusing in the world.
I've actually got kind of a hold on two of those. But anyway, it'll be fun to learn about these new ones.
Yeah. Well, Burning Ice Wolf is our lore guy because he knows most of the... What's it called? You know, the... yeah, God's lore and everything. So anyways, what we needed to do was get a charm. And that's gonna get us through this giant fire pillar here. And then we're gonna fight Surge, the fire giant of Norse mythology.
Smart, shush.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everybody. The destroyer has entered my home.
Okay.
He loves to
I'm
sing.
detecting a powerful presence
He does
from
love to
beyond
sing,
the
and it's
flames.
very, very annoying.
I advise that we ready ourselves.
Go practice your opera somewhere else.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just need to check one thing. Last time I did some playthroughs of this guy already, so I fought him before, so now I'm refighting him. The reason why I want to pre-fought them is because I'm going to be doing some skipping and loading, and I'll tell you basically the cutscenes from here. So we can just fight the bosses.
What has allowed you?
And this is why I said messing with the big boys, and why we had a little video about that before the intro.
Fight for metal as much as you please.
Oh, I forgot to show you guys.
Is dead.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
The end of this world is
Yes, worry about that. I want to see what's happening.
I assert shall claim it.
Let me know if you can see it.
I can see it.
Ooh, I like the animation.
Cannot stop me. I shall reduce you to ash.
Yeah. So, Fire Deity Surtur, or Fire Giant.
Isn't that like a Norse mythology?
Yep.
Sort of?
Norse mythology. Shin Megami Tensei is literally every pantheon, every monster, every legend, every mythical beast, demon, and thing mashed up into an RPG.
Ooh.
Sounds a little muddied.
It is, but this is why I said messing with the big boys. You're gonna see what bosses I have to fight next. So his weakness is ice, so I don't actually need to do anything this time. That's literally all his weakness is. So if you guys are fighting in there, just have some fire dampeners. He also absorbs fire, so it's
Not to use a fire attack?
yeah.
Okay.
So, Jazz, do you think you'd ever play like The Forest or something?
What?
It's like a multi-game player game where like you have to survive with like these cannibals and stuff running around. Do you think you'd ever play that?
Maybe? I don't believe
It's
it.
like a scary like survival game.
Are you suggesting the Gravedigger one you're doing right now?
No, it's really it's scary, and there's a new one coming out called Sons of oh my god, I forgot the title. It flew out of my brain. Of the Forest, Sons of the Forest. It's coming out, and it looks really good.
Nice. Okay, I've heard how myself. I know it's supposed to be from Norse mythology, but it looks very, like it belongs into old Egyptian mythology or, like, Persian mythology.
This guy?
Yeah.
He does look like he doesn't belong in Norse mythology, but no one looks the same.
Who is it?
True.
Who is he like representing?
He's the fire giant, Surtur.
Like I see it, but well, I guess the MCU sort of stains like how I
Yeah, let's
predict.
just ignore the MCU version because they screwed up on that already. Thor Ragnarok's a work of crap.
You know, I did like what's it called there? The new God of War game. One of the new. It's kind of old now, but the one where like you have a kid with you, you have your son.
Yeah, the one.
The way that they have, the Northern Soul. I really love the way they made the World Snake. Like he's fucking so cool.
Yeah, I heard they did a good job with that.
Like he feels big, you know. He actually feels like scary. And he talks like really slow, and like you can't understand what he's saying. And well, it's not even like words; it's like sound. Really, you have to have like a translator and everything.
Also, I forgot to bring up, when fighting this guy, he's got a really high counter rate, so I know I showed it to you a couple of times, so he's got, well, yeah, high counter rate and high-powered fire attacks. This is why I have the Phoenix with me for fire blocking. He's got a high defense against fire, so if I miss something and go to it and fire gets him, then it's an instant cancel. So that's always good. But I messed it completely. Jack Frost is one of my higher attack ones. Unfortunately, he's more physical based, so I gotta watch out. I'll get you ready later. But you can still fish out good ice attacks as well.
I really like Black Forest. It's adorable.
Yeah. He's the mascot of this entire franchise. Like how Chocobos are and all that.
I love chocobos.
Yeah, they're
Who doesn't like a big fluffy ostrich that's actually cute instead of violent?
in some games they're actually fat monsters in the game.
Really?
Yep. In Final Fantasy 12 you have to fight them.
Oh, that's fucking sad.
Some of them you do, others you don't have
What are Moogles?
I think that's Muggles, but with an accent.
to. Actually,
No, they're from like...
they're pronounced Moogles.
Oh. Well, that's sad. I thought that's how the Scottish would say Muggles. Ah, those Muggles.
No, I don't blame you. But yeah, they're pronounced Moogles. And what they are the second mascot. Originally, they were spirits. Other cases, they were, I keep forgetting. There's a legend for them in, like, every Final Fantasy game. Some cases, they're spirits. Other cases, they're in the likeness of God, basically, or like the first being that created everything.
Weird.
I don't remember that.
I think you're gonna do a Kingdom Hearts playthrough?
I will soon. I'm gonna do some more leveling and then I'll continue with that.
I do have a question. Whenever there seems to be an ice attack, why is it specifically always seeming to target, like, this groin or little stomach area?
Say again?
Like, when you do an ice attack and, like, you have Black Forest or something shoot ice at him, it always looks like the shards are trying to, like, stab them between the legs and the lower stomach.
Well,
Is that, like...
that's because he's literally kneeling down.
So, I'm just curious, is there a way that you can direct the blows, like,
No.
to the face or a shoulder, or...
It's just animated. I literally can't control that.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry. But I see what you mean.
At least I'm not the only one that sees it now. I did like the shot that your main character took at it. It looked pretty cool how the ice kind of like melted over the guy's body, like more of him is being attacked.
Yeah, with the ice gem. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like that's doing so much damage.
Well, that's because it's a stronger ice attack. I'm going medium here because I gotta use most of this out with the characters. I'm saving some of my better ice monsters for later. It's good to do the buffs now because that way I cancel his turn completely. Alright, Black Frost. I'm changing you now. Where were you?
Oh my gosh, that's... Okay, that's cool.
Do you think you're gonna try and do Digimon Survive?
Maybe.
I'm thinking about getting that game.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting that game.
Your turn. Go.
Oh, that
You know what? I
reminds me.
recently tried to.
There's some games
Go ahead.
on the Switch that are on sale right now.
Oh, like what?
Some RPGs that are like on 50% off.
Anything notable?
I'm not sure if you'd like them, but I'll tell you later once I remember the names.
Sure. Yeah, I recently tried a demo of the new Kirby Forgotten Land. Really good. Like, it's really cute.
Hey.
So,
Like, I totally would have, like, I'm an adult now, so, like, it's not really the same, but, like, as a kid, when I was obsessed with Kirby, like, when I was a kid and I was really into Kirby, that was the kind of game I, dreamed.
Oh yeah, Kirby was awesome.
Because remember when it was back on, Fox TV, it was just, right back at you.
Oh yeah.
refresh my memory. What exactly was Kirby?
He's a little pink ball guy that, inhales and kind of floats around.
I'm imagining a pink balloon.
Oh,
Pretty
actually, you're not
close.
far off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're Lunger. That's from Norse mythology too. Wasn't that the snake that surrounded the world, or that lay underneath the waves? And
No, that's not Jormungandr. That's a different deity altogether. According to myth, when I read the lore of on the lore, that worm is supposed to be the physical manifestation of infinity. It's a two-headed serpent.
Oh, okay.
Serpent.
It's Ethiopian mythology.
I'll check in a second.
Okay. Hang on, I can look it up on my end, and then we're not disturbing the game.
Actually, we could do both. Wait a sec. If I gotta change. Which button was it? I hit the ZL lore. There we go. Oceanic folklore, he is a giant copper python, a being that transcends good and evil. He governs the weather and is considered a god of harvest. He's known as the Rainbow Serpent because the water in the well he calls home is said to shine like a rainbow. So basically he's just a water deity legend.
Neat.
It's cool though, I like it.
Does sound German though, like Yerlunger or
Oh, no, no. I'm also thinking about Urban Hatter right now. If I were just to read the first part in German, it's actually a German name, Urban.
Oh.
So I can literally just call him Urban. New German nickname for you there.
right now he's got high net, so he's doing a lot of damage. Yeah, that's good.
Wait, how badly do we want a flaming sword like that?
Everybody wants to play stuff like that.
As long as you could turn it on and off, could you imagine having it on flame all the time? What would you do with it?
I would never pay for my electricity bill again.
True.
Yeah, technically, if you could find a way to put it in some sort of a cabinet, or not a cabinet, but a tall sort of oven, so you could just sit there and keep generating heat.
Oh,
it'd be the coolest.
Smell of fresh pizza.
It'd be the coolest thing to put in the center of your house, and they'd be like, "Is that a flaming sword?" Yeah, heat the house.
Oh, totally just get a hot air balloon and put it in the middle there of it and just use the power from it. You just have to find a different way to regulate your height and everything.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to turn it off, so you'd kind of never come back to the ground.
Nah, you still could if you turn it to the side so it directs its heat outward rather than upward.
The heat always rises, no matter what.
True, but you'd have to take it away from underneath the balloon. That's what I'm saying. Hold it outside of the basket. And then
I don't know, I'd be kind of
start your
afraid.
descent.
I'd be kind of afraid that the heat might burn the actual like not the basket, the actual like if you had it on a rig where you could like slide it in and out, I'd feel like the heat would still be rising upwards, and I'd be worried about like burning the actual the balloon itself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, hot air balloons.
Point.
The thing is, they only go so high. The flames, I mean.
Yeah.
They're just jet propelled so that they just go high, but yeah, the thing is that the flames are like controlled, so they only shoot out the heat in a hot air balloon, and the balloon itself is actually a lot higher than where it, well, you know, where the fire would get to, so.
Okay, different question. When this guy slices himself some bread to eat, do you think he holds it over his flame for like 5 seconds just to toast it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
How the hell did that happen? Did I do a physical? Just in case.
This'll do.
Oh, that's a cool creature.
That was one of the bosses I fought in one of my previous videos.
Okay. So is this guy going to end up joining your team?
It's more, for most of the villains that I fight, I could use later on to get them in my party.
Nice.
I'm thinking no chances right now. Let's see what it is. Fire damage.
Here.
Alright, time to wreck this guy.
Whack him, whack him, whack him, whack him.
I know he'll counter, but it's good to just get this out of the way now.
Cool. That looked really awesome.
Yeah.
And to have that Man in Black feel.
Yep. I believe the meme was like badass sunglasses style. Like he just did something awesome.
I like it. Nice touch.
Thank you. This was technically a quest after all. Spaghetti XP. Now I can actually fuse the tyrant. Now here's where I said, or another time where I said messing with the big boys. Here's who I'm gonna have to fight next.
You need us to do music for this?
Now,
He has chosen you, has
Big
he?
boys.
these guys will look familiar to you.
Ooh, who is it?
Death was at your heels the very moment you
Oh
first
sweet, is this
held
from,
that door.
brain damage, give me a second.
Were you aware that there are worlds far beyond the one you see here? In fact,
This
we have all gathered from a world
words
of
are
our
hard. Lewis, what am I thinking of?
own. No, Dino.
This from, Sleepy Hollow?
Make this world as thou
Now-
seest fit. But in order to do so, thou shalt require power. Power unmatched by
Lord of the
any
Rings?
and all who oppose thee.
No. Although they were based off these guys.
Okay.
Indeed, for his goal is to break free from the primordial cycle of creation.
The Forerunners of the
and
Apocalypse?
destruction.
There we go.
Thank you. That just took forever and a day. But I
Yep.
finally got
The
there.
first one was they literally came in order according to Burning Ice Wolf. They have an order. It goes the white the white pale horse with the bow, then the red horse,
Ruler falls.
and then a black
The
steed
world is reborn. Time
with
and
the
again.
scales, and then the pale horse. Yeah,
So
white,
it's-
red, black, and pale. So basically, pestilence, war, famine, and death, if that's the correct order.
It is this endless loop, this
Sounds great.
incontestable
I literally have to
loop
fight them in
from
order,
which he
too.
seeks to escape.
Oh, interesting.
On the main file, I've actually managed to
Only by
defeat...
breaking away from this eternal
Okay.
ring can he truly be free.
Hang on, what was the order of
It
them
is
again?
for
One
this
was
grand
pestilence,
purpose
Yeah.
that we have gathered.
famine, drought,
War.
Pestilence, war, famine, and death.
We shall await
famine,
you
and death.
there.
I don't know what we're gonna do with pestilence, but for like the war one, just throw in a declaration that was like a copy of the declaration that was signed after the Second World War, that where they all decided to have peace. And for famine, throw them a hamburger. And death,
According
I
to
don't know.
supernatural rules, any dead meat will do.
okay.
You really need to watch Supernatural. It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's on my
Four
list.
Horsemen of Death is literally a sucker for, like, red meat.
The inner demon in me just really wants to give him a veggie burger now. I'd make it look really good too. Like I'd disguise that shit to look just like meat.
Yes.
Alright, now, next quest. Let's recover first. But before we hit the horseman, we are going to hit... We're gonna help a friend out, so to speak.
Oh, does this game allow you to actually visit other players and join them on quests?
No.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
That's-
I mean an in-game character friend.
Okay. Hmm.
Maybe I should have waited, but...
Poltergeist. Okay, isn't the poltergeist just cute?
Yeah.
Kind of like a demonic possessed baby doll.
I know, right? Okay, it's close, so I need to hurry up. The thing is, I could only fight this person during a full moon, so... Almost. Come on. Almost there. Okay, full moon. Let's see if it stays that way for a while.
And that's the basilisk?
Nope, it's a different monster. Here she is.
Okay.
It hurts. What's happening to me?
Remember that little fairy that's been following us around for a while, and she just disappeared for a while? This is her.
Oh.
No, my power.
Be careful. Amano Zako's on the verge of going berserk.
I can't hold it back. You have to take.
Was she gonna turn into a type of monster?
Nope, she's just going berserk.
Okay.
In the lore of this game, demons change during a full moon, so it's like either they get extra power or something else. Depending on the demon, depending on the results.
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah. Fire and ice is the best way to do it, but the question is, she changes her attack patterns a lot. I actually need to change you because you can handle lightning, but at the same time give me enough fire damage for... You can give me fire, but you can also give me dark. But you give me fire, your magic is high, but your weakness is lightning. I can't risk that. Oh, I didn't summon it. And you're a lightning blocker. And my number one buffer.
Hold on, have you played this before?
I actually fought the bosses earlier, so I can just power rush through some of these bosses. So that's why I could get more content in my videos and not
Yeah. I was actually curious if Urban Hatter had played it before.
No.
Where the heck is Burning Ice Wall? It's been 30 minutes already.
It's a full moon. He ran out, turned into a wolf, and is now not going to be seen till morning.
Man.
It's a working theory. Oh, hang on. Ice Wolf, are you there? Thought I just saw his ring light up, but he's not there.
I like to think he dresses like Tingle and runs through the streets trying to sell people maps.
Just a giant transport, and he's like, hey, you want to buy a map?
There's a guy from Legend of Zelda, and he dresses up in like pink leotards, and he looks like a complete goon.
He considers himself a fairy,
It's nice that he has a dream. Everyone needs goals.
Yeah, not everybody. Some people shouldn't have dreams.
Yeah, because some people shouldn't have dreams.
Like Trump, he had too many dreams during look what happened to him.
Man. I don't know if status effects will work out like that. I'm not thinking
Is the horse character from Japanese mythology?
No, Christianity.
Oh. Okay.
Orobas, when I looked them up, is actually a one of the princes of one of the 7 gates of hell.
Oh, cool.
If I read that alright. Let's look that up actually. One of the 70 demons of the Solomon's Go-Getter. Okay, so Solomon came. He said to appear as a human with the head of a horse. He answers all questions concerning past, present, and future, and is both liked and respected by sorcerers. According to legend, he was often summoned by secrecy through lies of the future. So, Demon Prince, who's neutral. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Now, what was I doing?
Take this!
Any other debuffers? Just in case.
I can't imagine, like, if the normal human were to be trapped in this world, like the approximate size of each one of these characters.
They die real quick.
No, that's very true. They die really quick. But I'm just like imagining, like, I'm assuming the main character is like 6 to 7 feet tall, and then the fairy might be just under normal human size.
According to the game lore, she's actually the length of the main character's arm.
Oh,
Take this!
okay.
Just right now, she just looks big. As for humans actually coming into this world, that's actually one of the things that starts the game off. Humans are actually disappearing in. Turns out they're actually just coming into this world of demons.
Is it like a portal that you just kind of stumble into, or were they being pulled actively out of their world into this one for some nefarious, dark, and evil reason?
Yes. Well, the answer's
Okay.
technically both, so that answer isn't exactly wrong. It's literally both.
Okay.
I just like doing that at times. Yes, I am telling the truth, and it is the right answer. Almost killed me.
But it didn't. And now you've learned.
Does anybody else hear a weird echoey sound on the end?
Burning Eye is full.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Instead of joining us, he's talking to someone else.
Now, quit talking with your girlfriend. It sounds like.
She very much looks like Red Riding Hood.
This one's for you. Here.
She's actually a goddess. She's
It
actually
doesn't change the vibe I'm getting. Goddess of the Red Riding Hood. She protects all the girls that wear red and walk into the forest for their grandmothers.
a goddess from Norse mythology. She is the keeper of the golden apples and wife of Bragi, the god of poetry. Gods of Norse mythology are said to retain their youth via her apples, which are safely kept in a box made from ashwood, which would be her basket.
Interesting. Learn something new every single time I ask about any one of these characters.
Well, our lore guy isn't here. I know you can hear me.
Burning Ice Wolf. I summoned thee. It's not working.
That's not working.
Should I draw like a pentagram on the ground and salt?
Yeah, no.
No.
Sacrificing the cat's latest hairball?
Yeah, I think you would just need to, like, maybe get a live goat, tie it up to a tree, and sprinkle it in Cheeto dust.
These rituals get stranger every time.
Let's go!
Are you sure it's Cheeto dust and not Dorito dust?
Well, I don't know. He's not a normal creature, so you can't just use booger sugar and lube.
Use what sugar?
Just in case they do one thing.
Oh, I have an idea. Somebody needs to quickly go and bake fresh donuts. Nobody can resist the smell of fresh donuts.
No, she just sapped our characters, all our characters in.
You got this.
That's true, that's idea.
Oh, good, because I have no idea.
Win easier!
And my stat bonus is still there, so...
How's the heat treating you down there?
That's pretty bad, actually.
Yeah. Not that bad.
How high is it?
Well, I just don't like it, but... Yeah.
Update. We have obtained a concentration of Amanazako's power. We can use it as an essence.
Where is this? Oh, I remember! I couldn't control my power and started losing it, right? And you swooped in and saved me. Oh! And then you took my power, huh? Looks like you got a little... I'm so tired. Well, I guess I'll see you around. Bye-bye!
Here.
This is another one?
Yeah, she's just one of my... Since Amazaka's not here to,
Here.
you know, help me out. She was another one that I was doing for a quest.
Mm-hmm. I should make cinnamon buns.
And go wrong with cinnamon bun.
I don't know what, I'm just craving a sweet treat right now.
Aren't we all?
Actually, I'm not.
Blasphemy, he's not human. They've taken him. He's a pod person.
Dude, you know I don't always eat sweets.
What in the world is a pod person? Also, I have an important question. Raisins or no raisins?
No raisins.
Raisins.
Do you like your
or
cinnamon
no
rolls with or without raisins?
No raisins.
Oh, am I all alone in the world?
Raisins
Yes.
should never be on a cinnamon bun.
Raisins shouldn't be in anything. Why would you pervert a delicious grape?
Oh, gosh.
A delicious what?
I'm all alone, there's no
Well, a
one
grape,
beside me.
you dry a grape and it becomes a raisin. Why would you ever do that to a grape?
My grapes are all
grape-
alone.
If the grapes are bad, just let the birds die.
Okay, but what about trail mix?
No,
No.
can't eat it.
exactly.
Candied trail mix or candied raisins and trail mix?
Trail mix.
Both.
What if it doesn't have like the nuts that are poisonous to you?
Then maybe.
The only reason why I'd eat raisins if it was the only thing, and I mean only thing I had to eat. Every time I like look at raisins or like try to put them in my mouth, all I can think about is like someone told me a long time ago that they're like dead flies, and I never got over it.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
Yuck. That is not hilarious.
Dead or it flies.
Well, they kind of look like little shriveled, like black horseflies. And when you tell that to a little kid, and then nowadays as I'm an adult, every time I like I don't know, bite into them, the memory still comes back, and they're like gross.
But they're good.
In what universe?
In my universe. Where I'm safe and I don't get
universe does not
that
play
thing
one of
I
those.
eat. Like that was like such a snack for us as kids. Like you didn't have chocolate or sugar or anything. You just take a bowl, like a handful of raisins, and you ate those.
Oh god, did your parents also give you carob?
Carrots? Yes, we ate a lot of carrots.
No, carob. It's like a chocolate replacement. It's putrid.
No, they never gave us that. My mom figured out if you mix cocoa powder, carrots, and hazelnuts dough, and you blend through, just put it through a blender until it's really smooth. It's like a great chocolate replacement.
Okay, time to fight the Horsemen of Pestilence.
Did you just say the
Pestilence
horseman of
was-
piss pants?
Pestilence.
Pestilence.
The White Rider of the Four
Like disease and malnutrition, like all the bad shit that happens if you don't have adequate water and food.
And according to Burning Ice Wolf, that's supposed to be Jesus. But
To defeat the Four Horsemen is to open the door
Yeah, I wouldn't really blame Jesus if he decided to curse all of humanity. I mean, last time he was on Earth, it didn't go so well.
The time has
Well,
come.
yeah, but he died for everybody's sins. Like, he was like,
Yeah, he
hey,
probably
I'm gonna
hated
do
it.
you a solid, you can all get into heaven.
Defeating us.
Yeah, and he probably hated it. Showed up at his dad's place the next day when he woke back up and is like, "What the hell?"
Guarantee it, but you know, he did a solid big old
Cast your
solid.
fear to the wind. White Rider shall reveal the truth.
okay, that horse is freaking terrifying.
Actually,
Don't make fun of him, he's trying his best.
that horse reminds me of like this Arabic story where there was this it was either a giant or a daijin with 1,000 eyes. So it could literally see absolutely everything.
It has eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
No, the white one with the rider that has a bow is Jesus. And he's actually enemies with the other three.
And yet I'm fighting him right now.
Look who joined us.
I don't see a... Oh, I see a quiver.
Take this!
And he's wearing a crown.
He's also supposed to be described as being dressed in white. So that's clearly a mockery.
So he is. I'm ready to keep you out right now.
Let's go!
So the one in white is the only one that's actually described as an actual entity, whereas the other three are not entities, but settings, simply represented by by these characters.
Okay, question. How do we know the difference between a crown or just like an ornate helmet here?
I think a crown literally just goes around your head, and like a helmet kind of protects the back and sides of you.
Okay, but think about the coronation crown of the English royals that literally like has a similar shape to this one.
Doesn't cover the back of the head.
But
And
the thing is, the crown sits upon your brow. That's the point of it. It sits upon your brow. And then a helmet covers the back of your neck, it covers the sides of your head, and sometimes even like your face. It's kind of like the difference between a top hat and a bucket.
helmet covers the face, helm does not.
I still stand by the thing that, you know,
Helmets
One
don't
is a
cover the
bucket,
head
one-
though, so...
What about all the helmets that were like from Greek and Roman origin that like sat like covered the brow or sat on the brow and went like slightly lower to protect part of the nose as well?
Also, I don't know about actual historical armor, but I have seen depictions, at least in fantasy, in which crowns have been built into helmets.
Sure.
True, but that's more of like a headpiece to a helmet. And
No,
those are
it's not, I've actually
useless.
seen it displayed as all one piece. Example, the helmet of King Arthur in in King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. You ever see that?
I
have
one time.
Yeah, case in point.
Still, I would say that those type of helmets are absolutely useless. Because, like, any sort of helmet that has, like, horns on it, or has spikes, or all that kind of shit, it's so easily able to be knocked off the head and cause a problem. Like, I was reading a thing that, you know, I already knew this part before, but that, like, Vikings didn't have horns on their helmets, and they were, like, showing why they were, like, useless, is, like, they actually made a dummy, like a ballistics dummy, and they put the horns on the helmet, and, like, the helmet was strapped around his chin, like, so you couldn't take it off, like how it was, like, falsely depicted, and this guy just, like, ran by, like, trying to pretend that he's, like, on a horse, he just, like, pulled the horn in, and it, like, break the guy's neck.
Ouch. To be fair, like any ruling class king would very seldom actually partake in the battle, simply because they would be too important of a figure to just lose to any stinking old battle. So most of the time it was just moral support looking down over the battle, and their men would see them and be like, oh yeah, he's there with us.
That's funny. I grew up with orcs being depicted as wearing horned or spiked helmets. But maybe Peter Jackson's depictions of them were actually more practical. Still, those fences,
Like, I'm sure spikes would have some use. Like, I can understand spikes on a helmet, but, like, not something you could grab. Because if you can grab and pull those spikes, it's useless.
Yeah, like King Arthur's helmet. I can easily picture swords and other weapons getting stuck between the prongs of the crest.
Yeah. Well, like, some of those horns and, like, things like that, they were never intended for battle. They were intended for, like, a... kind of like a threat, intimidation, yeah, like a threat display. They're all just like, oh, God, he stands 7 feet tall or 8 feet tall, and his crown and, you know, his helmet's, like, an extra foot, and, you know, people, like, get scared. You're full of adrenaline, you're uneducated, you see some dude roll out in golden armor with a big sword and a helmet that makes him look 2 feet taller. I'd shit my pants.
Back then, it's like people didn't always think about strategy too much when fighting, so it's like, of course, there's that intimidating factor there that can't be helped.
The thing about King Arthur's helmet in that show was that, first of all, his armor was magical. Second of all, it was clearly to display his majesty. So everybody would take one look at him and there would be no mistake. Oh, that is the king! He's got a crown on his head.
True, because, you know, a lot of peasants wouldn't really know, like, just by looking at their king, like, who he was. They could just be like, oh, that's an important person, obviously, but, like, no idea, like, he's the king. But, you know, that also puts a target on your back. Because then everybody else knows that's the king, and aim the trebuchet there.
But he's armed with Excalibur, magical armor, and defended by a dragon that comes out of his shield, that's really not much of a problem.
Yeah, true, but like the real like Excalibur is like kind of like a sort of like a nod to like steel forging.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking about the real King Arthur. I was just talking about the depiction of him in King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. He wasn't even the real King Arthur. He was supposed to be like some descendant from the future.
Oh,
I can see the
Burning
future.
Assault. This was the Oribas I was talking about.
Who's playing Orbass?
The horse-human hybrid creature who is one of the princes of hell.
I don't know if he
The way he moves his hands, you get the idea that he knows like martial arts of some sort.
He's
I don't know.
supposed to, it says he's supposed to be like a future seer, or he like answers questions and helps predict the future.
Funny thing about that, his description really doesn't match that of a biblical demon at all. He's too good.
I don't know, like, to me it seems very Japanese style, like, this is the kind of creature that'll crawl into your home and haunt you and do horrible things to you while you sleep, or like in Greek mythology, it's one of those cannibalistic horses that'll eat you.
This guy comes directly from out of the Ars Goetia, also known, or the Lesser Key of Solomon, in which all the basically is like an instruction manual of how to summon demons to do your biddings, and the majority of them that are listed are warned that they cannot be trusted. They will try to trick you, they will try to deceive you, and they'll even try to kill you if they can. But this guy does not. He is described as being loyal and deliberately looking out for his master. And he's honest, too.
Fiend.
Yeah, he just does not strike me as actually being an actual biblical demon. As I said, he's too good.
Does that mean we are So he carried the menorah of compassion. I felt nothing of the sort coming from him. Or perhaps compassion in this case was his refusal to hold anything back.
I was actually quite surprised when I read about him.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like a demon you can trust, I guess.
But
To be fair, there's various German folk tales and Romanian and Polish folk tales that, and Czechoslovakian folk tales that show the devil in a much different light than what like other cultures do.
Yeah.
well, that's because most German folk tales actually originate from the mythologies in which there was no actual devil.
And truth be told, some cases Lucifer is a truth teller. Not just like from the show, but the thing is that his whole stick of lying is basically more him telling the truth. And then
Yes, again, you're mistaken. It's Satan, who was originally known as Satanel, according to certain sources, who is known as the liar. Lucifer is... He's basically an embodiment of pride. And if you ask me, a proud person wouldn't lie.
Is it supposed to be somehow similar in a sense to the tale of Cassandra from Greek mythology, where her blessing was that she would always be able to predict the future, but they cursed her so that nobody would ever believe her prophecies?
Don't think so.
well, that would actually explain a lot of prophecy tellings in Greek mythology, because every time a prophecy is made, it's them trying to go, when it's telling you you're gonna go right, you're basically getting told to go left.
Self-fulfilling.
Or, wait, I said that wrong. Basically, it's telling you to go right, so you try to go left, but at the end of the day, you're gonna go right regardless.
You're talking about a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're warned, and in your attempts to try to avoid it, you cause it to come to pass.
Yes, but that's literally everything in Greek mythology. Like, look at most of everything when someone's trying to do stuff when predicting the future. Like, every time they get a prophecy, it's like, okay, we think it's this, so we're either gonna go right or go left.
Wrong. The prophecy that Perseus would kill his grandfather was inevitable. There was no way to avoid it at all. His grandfather tried to prevent his. Upon hearing it, his grandfather tried to prevent his Perseus's birth by locking his daughter in a tower where nobody could get to her. But Zeus got to her, and when he found out she was pregnant, he put her and the baby. Wait. She gave birth in secret. He never found out she was pregnant. He found out that she had a kid because he suddenly saw the kid one day. So he put her and the child in a chest and cast it into the sea, hoping that they would drown. Instead, they washed ashore in a foreign land where Perseus's mother raised him. And then Perseus was eventually, for reasons that I don't really want to go into, they're not important in my
Basically just
short
watch Clash
version
of
of
the
this
Titans.
tale.
Pretty much.
No.
Anyways, I gotta get
Clash
some
of the
info
Titans was
on for the
complete-
video, so pause that for a second. Okay, everyone, you see this rock guy, right? So, originally, in the beginning of the game, there was a giant rock guy who was level 40. So, I managed to beat him, and here he is now. And it turns out that he's actually... Well... Oh yeah, Matsumi. The Japanese god of the mountain. These actually
Is he really a he? He's got a big rock dong?
That's seriously what you're focusing on right now.
I had to make a joke of that somewhere.
Why?
Why not?
Because it just doesn't even... Never mind.
So, is the spirit?
Come on, you know I'm not the only one wondering that. So personally, I don't really care if it's answered or not.
Now, but... weren't before. Anyways, as I was saying, right here...
Oh, come on.
these
Any
are
one of our
4
viewers can end up
Japanese
thinking
gods.
it.
Dude, I'm trying to explain something right now.
Hey, Mary.
Anyways, so these guys are basically quests. Basically, the first quest was to kill him and, well, kill his berserker form, get his head, and then bring it back so he can be revived. Now that I have...
She's after plays.
Now that I have the ability, now that I can accept this quest, I can fight these guys, and if I do, I get to fuse him later. Or...
Watch out for the half-naked man in the helmet. He's found a way to bypass the game mechanics.
What?
Sorry, you're talking about quests. It just reminded me that episode of South Park that was about World of Warcraft.
Okay, he's weak to fire. I forget what he's weak to. Oh, fire as well. Taka, Mika... Does not Mika Siege yet.
Let's repeat it. Happy section to drop like anything else.
What?
Kick him in the nuts and he'll fall. Oh, he's just standing there with his crotch exposed.
Weak to ice.
The one that appears to have no arms. Or his arms just dark.
Is this armor from the Edo period?
Say again?
Is this armor from the Edo period of Japan?
Probably. The thing is, they're all, from Japanese mythology, so... I guess Edo period, or...
Judgment!
Well, can I finish telling about Perseus and his ironclad prophecy?
Continue.
Okay, so basically, for reasons that I don't want to bother going into because I'm trying to keep this short, Perseus ends up going on a quest for Medusa's head.
Here.
After completing the quest, during that quest, he meets and claims the princess Andromeda to be his wife. And then sometime after the quest has been completed, he goes and he takes part in some game. And when his time comes to throw the disc, he throws it, and instead of flying straight like he had aimed, it actually takes a complete U-turn and pretty much goes back past him and hits somebody in the bleacher. And it turns out to be an old man, which is identified to be Perseus' actual grandfather, and not the father of the man that he thought was his father. Because his brother raised him single. So yeah, turns out it was his grandfather. His grandfather was there at the games and got killed by his discus, fulfilling the prophecy. And it was through no fault of Perseus at all. He wasn't aiming for him, but God decided, this is it, this is where he dies and how he died. That was what his seer actually told him, or a priestess or somebody. Somebody identified it as his grandfather. He said, I killed my grandfather. I didn't mean to kill my grandfather. And he was told, it wasn't your choice, it was the will of the God. Greek mythology actually has at least two gods that are actually whose sole purpose is actually to make sure that prophecies come true. Well, actually, at least four. There's the three fates, to pretty much make the decree of what will happen to individuals in their lives. Happen in the lives of individuals. And then there's Moros, the daemon of doom, who pretty much acts as their messenger and agent, making sure to speed mortal men onto their destiny, be it for good or ill.
There you go.
Anyway, back to the Four Horsemen. The thing is that the white horse being ridden by the king with the bow is actually supposed to represent Jesus. And the red horse being ridden by the soldier with a sword is supposed to represent the state of war. It is not an individual, it is a symptom. It represents a symptom of the world, of a sickle. As does famine and death. Hades following close behind. Hades, or the common grave, following close behind death. And prophecy is that Jesus is going to remove the other three. He's going to heal the world. More from existence, as well as sickness, and to quote the Bible, even the greatest enemy, death, will be brought to nothing.
Oh, I thought you represented that. wasn't the other three like famine, pestilence,
Oh, good. Just
What was that, Lily?
Sorry, I was just wondering, aren't the other three like war, pestilence, and famine? And then
No, it's war, famine, and death. Pestilence is actually a part of death. Pestilence is not a listing at all. It's just one of the ways that death kills.
Okay, but by that logic, war would just be another form of death as well.
It is. Death claims all the victims of the other two. It works like this. Our world is constantly at war. It's been so since the 1914s. I think it was the 1914s. When was the First World War? That's when it escalated. That's when war itself actually changed with the First World War. Up until that point, war was mostly waged over land and resources. But World War II was just plain blind aggression and anger and rage.
Well, that's
A prince was killed. The authorities of the neighboring country that caught the assassin refused to try him to be tried in the country of the dead prince. So they got into a altercation. One became aggressive for the other. The country that refused to actually distribute justice became aggressive for the other. So the country that was originally wrong called in allies to help them. And then in response to that, the country that had declared war against them called in allies to help them. And it went on and on and on until everybody got involved. All because of the death of a peace activist.
That's only partially true there. One of the reasons that they sought out to kill the prince was because he stood symbolically for the oppression that kingdom was, and the control that kingdom was exercising over their country, which I think was Serbia. I'm not 100% sure. But they've considered themselves to be freedom fighters, and I think they called themselves the White Hand. So when they declared war on that country because they refused to have him tried on non-native soil to him, they basically got their allies from many arranged marriages of the past, which was Germany, to help them out, whereas Russia saw it as an opportunity to help the other country, which would give them access to a port in southern seas.
Austria.
Yeah, Austria was allied with Germany due to the royal houses being very much intertwined.
Wait, I think you're because it was Austria whose prince, well, technically a duke, next in line to the throne, who was murdered.
Yeah, I know. It was him.
The victim was Austrian.
I know.
He said Russia went to help the country, the victim country.
The other country, the ones that assassinated him.
Yeah.
Because
The assassin was foreign to the country that he sought refuge in.
No, it was a first-hand. I'll just pull it up real quick.
I read about it, and as I understood it, the assassin was neither from Austria nor the other country. The country that refused the trial was the country that wanted to try the assassin themselves.
Was Serbia, because it was a Serbian citizen.
No, he wasn't. He didn't take refuge in Serbia. He wasn't a citizen. He was a foreigner. Pretty sure.
The person that committed the assassination, his name was Gavrilo Princip. He was Bosnian Serb, so he did have Serbian citizenship at the time. And they wanted to try him within his own country, which Austria took as an insult, because they wanted to try him there because they had lost the prince, like the crown prince. So when they declared war on Serbia, Russia sided with Serbia because it would give them access to a port in southern water, because for all of Russia's size, it doesn't border a port, any proper ports, only in the north. So that was an advantage to them, and Austria called on its allies, which were German, due to the fact that they had married the royal houses back and forth between Germany for the last 100 or 200 years. And that's how the first allies crystallized out of all of this. It wasn't just plain old aggression. Like, the Second World War had a lot more to do with plain old aggression, but there was always other motives for the other countries to join in. It was never just, oh yeah, we're just gonna go to war because.
Actually, World War II was more about trying to pillage resources to rebuild the countries that were devastated.
Yeah. But see, it was never just a bunch of aggression. There was always reasoning behind everybody's actions. Because at the time too, Austria had like major regions that it had taken over. It was the Austrian Empire. Austria ruled over Hungary. It ruled Serbia. It ruled parts of Italy, and it was like an empire in its own right.
It was. The ruler was called the Emperor.
Yeah, and that's like why the assassination happened. They considered themselves to be freedom fighters.
And yet they chose an innocent victim to murder.
Depends how you look at it.
He was a peace activist. He tried to keep peaceful relations with the other countries, and he was just simply killed because he was in the wrong family.
Just because you try to keep peace, it does not necessarily mean you're succeeding. Like, all they asked for was freedom and for the right to govern their own country without being ruled by a foreign country that at the end of the day didn't care enough.
He wasn't the one who decided that.
That doesn't necessarily matter, though. If you are seen as a symbol of oppression, you could be the nicest person in the world. If they see you as that symbol of oppression, they won't care. That's essentially what also happened with one of Marie Antoinette's best friends.
What happened to Marie Antoinette herself, actually?
Yeah, that's true, but her friend was slightly more a people person in that sense, because she did more for the people.
This'll do.
Maybe that's because she had more time in between herself, but she would often like donate to the poor and take in orphans and do a bunch of social work, but that didn't stop her from being ripped to shreds when, you know, everybody's emotions were running high and everyone was angry. She was, together with the other royals, seen as the symbol of wealth that oppressed the poor.
It just goes to show that they were full of shit.
Actually, I think the old saying just rings true that no good deed goes unpunished.
Pretty much, yeah. And Marie Antoinette, she was a good person, a humanitarian. She cared for the injured.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta consider the fact that she didn't really know what was going on in the country to a certain degree. I mean, she was 14 when she was married off to this guy. Like,
and she spent most of her time partying and things like that.
Exactly. Like,
No, she didn't.
She didn't have interest in... Well, she definitely lived a very extravagant lifestyle.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're never going to 100% know what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes unless you actually walk in their shoes. So she can empathize and have done as much work as she liked and pleased. At the end of the day, she still would not have had a clue what it was really like.
It doesn't justify what happened to her.
Nothing justifies what happened in the past. All of the children that got murdered and died, like the children that in Victorian era England were forced to clean chimneys and often died at the age of 14 at the oldest. That's how old the oldest got, because they ended up developing horrible cancer. Like, nothing is justified in the past. We can't just always look to the rich that suffered. We have to consider the millions of poor that suffered 3 times more.
It doesn't make it better. It doesn't give them the right. I'm simply saying, look, I'm simply saying there's no excuse for what those so-called freedom fighters did. They simply killed her. They simply killed her just because she was in the family that they were against.
I agree. It
And
doesn't make it right. 2 wrongs will never create a right.
Makes me wonder
they didn't
what
give a
he
fuck.
guesses at.
They didn't give a fuck. They were not just.
No, I agree.
They were not just. They were simply mad, and their actions are proof of that.
Yeah, but I agree with you, and that there is proof of that. But there's also the second side of the story where so many people started wars over kind of petty and trivial bullshit and sent millions to their deaths. Like, there's always more than one side to every story.
I know. Like Longshanks, for instance, he was considered a tyrant by Scotland, but the fact of the matter is, he was a broken man that just didn't care about life anymore. He had lost it. He had recently lost his wife. He was in grieving, and at the same time, he had to deal with a rebellion.
Alright, you guys, here's where I'm gonna have to end the stream here. You managed to
So-
get One Horseman, Surtur, and the Shinto Pantheon that was here.
What are you
Yeah,
doing for next?
I can't help but think that King Longshanks would have actually made better choices and actually would have been a better person if he hadn't lost his wife. I mean, he was struggling to hang on to the empire that his forebears had built.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.
When are you doing the next stream, Jazz?
Next week, Sunday.
Okay, I'll try to be there.
Okay.